Good morning, everybody. I guess good morning if you're in the US, Canada, Mexico, North America, and some other countries. My name is Damon Cart, and this is Life Mastery Gym. This is also an episode or an episodic live that I've been doing called Win or Learn. And actually, this is going to be the last one. It's not going to be the last time I go live, but it's going to be the last time I do. I've been doing this every Saturday, and it's been fun. It takes a lot of effort and energy, like pretty much everything else that I do. So I'm going to have to put my time and attention in other places for a while, but expect videos in on my channel regularly. That's still going to happen. So again, my name is Damon Cart. This is Life Mastery Gym. If you're tuning in for the first time on this episodic Win or Learn live broadcast. And I've been studying NLP for several years. I think I'm coming up on 8 years now. I've done multiple trainings. I've practiced and applied NLP constantly throughout my life for the past 7 to 8 years, and started coaching and started training people because it's something I'm really passionate about. And I'm going to talk to you about practitioner training because my practitioner training enrollment is open right now. It's an online training. It's something that once you sign up and once you're all set up, you get it for life and you get to take the training as many times as you want. I give ongoing support through a private Facebook page, and I do group coaching calls. And what I'm really trying to do is create a program that fills in all the gaps of the trainings that I used to attend as a practitioner. Because after my first practitioner, I stepped out of the training at the end of the training, and I was like, I don't really feel like I know NLP. I feel like I've gotten some good experience with it, but I don't really feel like I can really do this or that I can go out in the world and really apply it. And then began this journey of rigorous practice and sorting in the dark, trying to figure this out. And I practice and practice and practice every single day. Went through my manual, and then I joined another practitioner training with another teacher, and then was meticulous about uh, doing his training. And then I took a hypnosis training, which was amazing. Really enjoyed hypnosis. It really brought a lot of understanding to NLP and why NLP works so well. And then I came back around and did another practitioner training. And so after doing 3 practitioner trainings and practicing every single day, I started to figure some things out. And I also had a practice group that I started. And this is funny too because I used to and I still do encourage people to create practice groups and even to create practice groups around the training that I offer. So like enroll in my training and then start a practice group and take what you're learning in my training and practice with people in your group. And I would have people tell me, "Well, I can't do that. I don't know NLP well enough." And I said, "Okay, well, I did it and you should be able to do it." And they're like, "Well, you're the guy, you're the teacher." And I said, "I started my NLP practice group before I'd even taken my first NLP course. I was learning from books, which if you've tried learning NLP from books, you know how difficult that is. Nearly impossible. It's not something you just you read and you absorb the information and it's done. No, it's something you really have to practice, and you need some guidance with practicing it, and you need to see it demonstrated. Uh, I wasn't getting anywhere with the books, so I started a practice group, and people started showing up, and we would go through the book and to the best that we could, practice that way with very, very little guidance. And then some people who had formal NLP training started showing up, and then that was a huge help. And then when I took my first training, then I was able to come back and feel a lot more confident about what I was doing. I'd seen it demonstrated. I'd gotten some help. I'd gotten some of my questions answered. That practice group is actually what what you see now of my Life Mastery Gym. The practice group was actually the thing that started it all. From there, people kept showing up. I became more and more confident as a teacher and someone who was coaching the entire group. And then I thought, what's next? And I realized that by teaching this, I learned it even better, and I got more opportunities to practice it when I taught it. And so just after years and years and years of doing this, I thought, well, I mean, this is I can't stop doing this. I love it so much. I enjoy it so much, and I'd rather spend all of my time doing this. And so eventually it led to this business, which um, is a- is a lot of fun. I meet so many people online and in person, and we do. I get to walk with people through their life changes and their transformations, and n- nothing is, I don't know, more exciting than that, than transformation, change, watching people fully transform their lives and start fulfilling their potential. It is, I mean, I love it when I do that, but if when you do it so much, you get to a point where, you kinda you're not going through those big changes anymore like you used to, but you get to help other people do that, and that's, and if the only thing better than going through my own transformations is helping other people do that for themselves. It's a really, really exciting. So I don't wanna sit here and lecture too much. I really wanna talk to you about your questions about practitioner training or about NLP in general. Like I said, this is the ninth episode. I've been doing these live broadcasts, weekly, and this is the ninth one, and it's also going to be the last one. I need to put my attention on other things, but like I said, expect regular videos from me. I'm still gonna be posting regular videos, and I'll be going live from time to time. I really like the interactive part of this. And so right now I need to pay more attention to my students and interact with them. And so I'm going to be doing more of that. I'm also working on creating much better videos and getting just better at creating the videos that I post on YouTube. And if you saw my live training that I did on influence and persuasion, I'm really working on getting better at creating those trainings, and, I think from the feedback that I got on this last one, which by the way is free, and I even posted videos on YouTube, they'll be up for about another week, you can watch them. They're long videos, but it's really a full-on training. The feedback I got from that was just made me realize that, yeah, I've made it several programs now, and anything that you do more and more, you just get better at. So, I'm really excited about that. I feel like I'm delivering the best I've ever been able to deliver, and, that's a good feeling because I'm always wanting to improve. I'm always wanting to make NLP more accessible for you, and putting it out there in a way that you can really apply it, that you can take whatever I'm teaching and right away, bring it into your life and use it effectively. Okay, let's see if we have any questions coming up. No questions yet. All right, is everybody asleep? Why should you take a practitioner training, or what's the um realizing I got some glaring lights. Let me try to fix that so I'm not okay. So what to expect in a practitioner training? Practitioner trainings are entry level beginner trainings, but they are there's a lot to them. Well, it depends. I can tell you right now, if you're looking at taking a course that costs $15 or something like that, you get what you pay for. If you're looking to take a course, whether it's online or in person, that's like a 3-day course or even a 1-week course, there just know that there is no way you can learn NLP in a week. It and then there's a certification thing. A lot of people, tout certifications as if that's like, "Well, if you just come to my course and you complete it, then you'll be certified." Well, what does it mean to be certified? Nothing. The institute itself, if it has a really good reputation and you're certified from that institute, then okay. But what is an NLP practitioner certification? There is no definition for it. It used to mean something back whenever it was only Bandler and Grinder doing it. They would take you through a 30-day training, and they made sure that you actually had the skills and the competencies, and then they would give you a certification. They just don't do it like that anymore, and they still use that word certification as if it does, but it doesn't. I have never attended a training where they really tested my skills, and I have a stack of certifications. I got a stack this big of certifications. Um, Somebody told me I should put them on the wall here so that it looks so impressive, but that I couldn't do that in good conscience and feel like that actually means something because it doesn't. I hear people will tell me all the time, "Okay, I'm certified master NLP master practitioner." It doesn't really mean anything if your skills mean something. Suddenly, I got my nose just itches a lot. Um, your skills mean something. Your life, the way you live your life. If you're living your life in a way that exemplifies that you're applying NLP and you're living a life in what you consider to be successful and effective, that's the best certification. So, are you doing that? I used to see people rack up, certification after certification, and that was more important to them. That was their focus, but they didn't really have the skills down. They never practiced. So you're just not going to get the skills down if your idea of becoming an NLP practitioner is a piece of paper, and you're just going to spend a lot of money. And I'd see these people spending a lot of money on these programs, and they just weren't. It wasn't. They weren't changing. They weren't getting better. So, where I came from was when I took my first practitioner training, I actually didn't have the money. I had to put it on a payment plan, and then even that, I was using credit. And I'm not a big fan of using credit. I don't do it anymore, or for the most part. And I don't suggest that people do that. But I wanted to learn NLP so bad that nothing was going to stop me. And my wife at the time, ex-wife now, and even my parents were saying, "What are you doing taking this training? You don't have the money. Your business needs more attention." And it was like, "Oh, okay, I'm working 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week sometimes. What more attention does my business need? It's something's not working here. I need to do something different." And I followed my intuition on this. I followed my heart on this. And that's when I signed up for my first NLP practitioner training. And I was determined to squeeze every drop of anything that was good or valuable out of that training because I felt like this was my last. It was the last thing I could turn to. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't happy. My business wasn't working. My marriage wasn't doing well. Um, you name it. I was just in a bad place, and I knew that there was something on the other side, though. I just needed some help. I needed some tools. I needed some guidance, and that's what NLP gave me in my life. Within 2 years, rapidly, I changed my life around and turned the business around, but I got to a point where, as of February of this year, I let my insurance business go. My heart was never in it. I'd spent more than 10 years doing it, and even though I had it set up pretty well, it was mostly my employees who would just run it, and I didn't really have to do much. But even still, it was a part of my life where that was built out of chasing values that were not my own, and they were built around a lot of my confusion and being lost and not knowing what to do. So just falling back on what my father had done, which he's an insurance agent. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just go do that. Got married, had 2 kids back to back, and I thought, well, okay, I'll just go do what's safe. Didn't work out so well, and I just wanted to close that chapter of my life, and so I was able to do that as of February of this year, and really exciting time. A lot of it was hard to let go of the money and everything that was coming in. When you have that, it's hard to let it go. But I realized it was more about holding on to that was more about safety and security and making decisions based on safety and security when I'm already safe and secure. It has never done well for me, and I find the same for most people. All right. You have your first client meeting. Can you please give me some tips? Well, you're gonna have to tell me more about your client meeting and what you're looking for if you want some tips. And I also want to put it out there to you. Do you have any questions about practitioner training? My practitioner training, any practitioner training, any questions about learning NLP, anything? Okay, usually I talk everybody's ear off for an hour. I told myself I wasn't going to do that this time. So either we're going to need to get some questions going or I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And by the way, I've been putting out videos near daily. So there's been no shortage of material out there. Um, if you're looking for more information on NLP, on NLP practitioner training, I've got tons of it right now. I've been putting it out so much. So let's see. I am new NLP practitioner and meeting my first client. She has issues with her future. So you're a coach or you're a therapist? Is that what you're saying? So let me try to put this together. You're a coach or a therapist, and you learned NLP, and now you're taking on your first client, or you're a coach or you're a brand new coach or therapist. Which how you prepare? You're a coach. Okay. Well, let me ask you before going into this, do you know what your client wants out of the coaching? It amazes me how much people miss this. Okay, correctly said. All right. Do you know what your client wants? Not what their problem is, but what they want. There's a big difference. All right, well, that's where you better start. So people come to me for problems, and that's normal, but you're not going to know where to go unless you know what they want. And when you ask somebody what they want, they often will tell you what they don't want. So that's where you need to start. You need to get them focused on what it is they want. I know it sounds so obvious, but it's not. Okay, you don't know what she wants, but you're going to find out during the first meeting. So I get clear about that even before I coach somebody, just because I want to make sure what they want is compatible with my coaching and that I know that I can help them. Because if they what they want is extremely unrealistic, if they come and they say, "Well, I want more confidence." Okay, well, sure everybody does. But that's not you can't go at confidence directly. So what do you want to be confident about and what's missing that makes it so that you're not confident about something? But it's too vague, too general to just say I want more confidence. W- When and where do you want to be more confident and what's missing? Are you missing some experience? Do you want to be confident about flying an airplane and you've only had one lesson? You want to be confident about flying an airplane. You want to be confident about skiing down this huge ski slope, but you've only skied a few times. I'm not going to help you be confident about that. That's dangerous. I'm not going to help you be confident about flying an airplane when you don't have the skills to fly an airplane. That's that's not good for me or for you. But if you have a lot of experience doing something and for whatever reason you're not confident about it, which is very, very common. A lot of people suffer from self-worth issues. I suffered from self-worth issues for the majority of my adult life. Then I can help you with that. So get very clear. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name because I'm probably going to get it wrong. But get very clear about what your client wants, what they want to move toward. Most of the time, when people come to you for a problem, it's because they're focused on the problem and they don't have a vision or an outcome on the other side of the problem. And if you don't, then how do you know which direction to move in? You don't. And so this is why I'll call you Raj. Okay, Raj. Um, this is why people are often so caught in a cycle. So you have a problem, and because you're focused on the problem because you want to solve it, that's normal. You're not seeing, well, what is it you want beyond the problem, not what is it that you don't want. So if you're focused on what you don't want, you're just gonna get more of that. And this is, like, so basic, but it amazes me how many people miss this, how many people just miss this in their own lives, how many coaches miss this, how many therapists miss this, and, it's you gotta have a direction, you gotta have a vision, you gotta have some headlights pointing the lighting the pathway of what it is that you want, and it's okay if you're wrong about that, like, you might say, "Well, I want this," and then you start pursuing it, and then you go, "Wait a minute, this isn't really what I want." And you wouldn't know that though unless you started pursuing it. So it's never a bad thing to pursue something that you want and then realize later it's not what you want. At least you were able to figure that out. Otherwise, you're stuck in your head dreaming about this and you're not going anywhere with it. So, I know people who would rather dream and preserve the purity of that dream and never take action on it. And yeah, you're right. When you take action on something, a dream that you have, it does dirty it up. It does mess it up because the reality and the dream are two different things. And reality always has imperfections, whereas the dream is pure. But one is ungrounded, and you could even that even goes in the direction of arrogance and narcissism when you're caught in your dream in your head and not connecting with reality. But reality grounds you. And so when you pursue something and it doesn't work out exactly how you thought it was going to, instead of getting angry about it, instead of um, saying, oh, it's someone else's fault or something else's fault or I'm not good enough. No, just look at it as well. That's feedback. What I thought, how I thought things worked, is not how it works. But that's good information. Now I know that. And then now I know better, do I wanna continue to pursue this, or did I realize that actually this isn't something that I want? In which case, now I have a better understanding of what it is I do want. So I know people who just kinda sit around and dream and never take action. That's not helping you, and it's especially not helping anyone else because when we take action on our dreams, our goals, the things that we want, in most cases, you are also serving humanity, your community, the people around you. And so you're robbing everyone, you're not just robbing yourself of fulfilling your own potential, you're robbing everyone else of what your potential could potentially offer the world. So start taking action, even if it's imperfect, even if you don't know exactly what to do. Start moving in that direction. It's really exciting actually. I mean it's scary, but that's also what makes it exciting. It can be scary. It's not always scary. You like my videos, you're a big fan. Awesome. Thank you. I never get tired of hearing that. This is a great moment for you kind of talking to me. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're going to step up and ask me questions, I'm here to answer them. So glad you're here, Raj. All right. Anybody else? Anybody have any questions? Practitioner enrollment is now open. If you're interested, the link is in the description right below this video. I'm giving away more bonuses than I've ever given. And my other practitioners who have been a part of the program for a few years, who came to me and said, "You're giving away all that stuff. Do we get that stuff too?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give that to you as well," because I told them when they first started with me that anytime I made additions or upgrades that they would get access to that too because they have lifetime access to it and they can take the course as many times as they want. They can come to all the group coaching calls. I want people to feel like this is a lifetime practice when you get on this. Um, it will serve you incredibly well to just make NLP a part of your life. And with this program, that's exactly what you can do. Uh, shoot, aim. Yeah, ready, shoot, aim. Hey, Claude, I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I responded to your comment today. It sounds like you live a pretty interesting life. I think you said you're living in Bulgaria now. Yeah, but sometimes you have to do the ready, shoot, aim. Not always. Ready, shoot, aim often happens when you just don't have enough information and you need more information. So you have to take that first step. You have to take some action to gather more information. I had a writing teacher one time who told me when I was living in Los Angeles, because that's one of the big fears is when you wanna be a writer, it it's so seductive to sit around reading books on writing and not actually doing the writing. You'll see this, like, in Los Angeles. So in Los Angeles, everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be a movie star, a screenwriter, or a director. I don't care what their profession is. My insurance agent, when I was living there before I became one, um, he was a screenwriter. He had headshots. He went on auditions. You'd find a janitor would have headshots in his back pocket. All the bartenders were actors because they wanted to work in the evenings and audition all during the day. And you can just walk into any coffee shop, and there are people reading books on screenwriting, reading books on their craft without actually doing it. And of course, you see a lot of people writing too. And there are plenty of people who take the action. And so it's so easy to just sit around gathering the information, educating myself without actually doing any writing. And the big fear there is that you're going to write like shit. And pretty much everyone does when they first start writing. Pretty much everything you first start doing, you're not going to do well. Just acknowledge that, accept that it's just how things are. How can you be good at something without ever having done it? Every once in a while, you have those anomalies who just seem to be great from the start. But like I said, those are anomalies, and you should not compare yourself to those people. And so my teacher said, allow yourself to write it bad first before it gets good. And he was absolutely right. And I wrote volumes of really bad writing and before it started getting good, and I'm talking, like, I spent at least a year writing and writing and writing every single day for hours a day before my writing started to get where I would say it was, stuff that I could show people and feel good about it. Let's see. Sometimes you'll never be ready until you first shoot. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And sometimes I think that, um you also need to make that transition to understanding what it is you're learning. And I'll give you an example. So, an example of ready, shoot, aim for me was starting this YouTube channel. The only background that I did go to film school, so I felt comfortable using cameras. I felt comfortable using editing software. I did not feel comfortable talking to a camera. That was new for me. I had done some Toastmasters, and I hadn't really done any public speaking until I did Toastmasters, and that was helpful in overcoming that fear of speaking in public. And actually, it was a lot of fun. And if you haven't done that before and you've been thinking about public speaking, Toastmasters is a really safe way to do that. So I got over my fear doing that, and I really enjoyed it. And that was probably what eventually led me to teaching. Because when I would teach groups, when I teach NLP, it's so much fun. I really enjoy it. I was just down in LA. I taught a 3-hour workshop, and it made me realize, wow, I need to do more of this because I enjoy it so much. Um, but starting a YouTube channel, I didn't know what was going to work, and so I didn't know that there were YouTube trainings that you can take, and there probably were a handful of them, but not many, not like you have today. And this was 3 years ago, by the way. So 3 years ago, I decided to put a camera up and shoot, and then edit and upload to YouTube. And originally, the channel was called NLP Gym, and later I changed it just as of the beginning of this year to Life Mastery Gym because I really want to put the focus on not just learning NLP, but learning NLP with something to aspire to do, which mastering your life. I can't think of anything that greater than doing that. And people might say, well, that's kind of selfish. Maybe, you should put your focus on community or anything or something like that. That is part of mastering your life, your connection to society and community, and bettering yourself so you can be better for others. So you can contribute to society. It's all part of it. So it's not a selfish endeavor. So anyway, I ready, shot, aim, and I started doing this a lot. And after I was shooting a video every single day, I uploaded a video every single day for 8 months. But within the first 30 days, after I shot 30 videos, uploaded 30 videos to my YouTube channel, and I think I only got 10 subscribers. I was like, I've got to do something now. So I gathered some information, which was taking action, getting experience shooting videos, 30 of them. And so I realized, okay, I know how to do this. I'm getting better at editing. And because I have to look at myself so much when I'm editing, I corrected a lot of mistakes that I was making when talking to a camera. And so I said, okay, I've got some experience here. I've gotten better at making the videos. Now I need to learn how to actually like get people to watch my videos. And so I took an online training and I learned some, and immediately things got better. I started getting a lot more subscribers, a lot more views. And then I pursued more understanding, more training, but I didn't really do it that well. But my point is that I gathered experience first because I didn't know what was going to happen, and then it pointed the direction of what I needed to learn, and it was like that was natural progression, and it worked really well. If I had just sat there trying to learn everything before I did anything, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So 8 months later, after I'd made a video every single day, I, had to back off because I was tired and I wasn't putting enough focus on the business itself, and so things shifted around a bit. But what I'm coming to realize now, because I joined a mastermind for YouTube, for growing your YouTube channel, um, investing a lot more, money and time and effort into it, that a lot of the old ways that I've been using to get subscribers and views has not worked out very well, or it's not optimized. It's working out okay, and I've been using those old ways because I did have some success from them, but I'm realizing now from what I'm learning now that there's so much more to learn and so much more to do and so much more precision. So I'm having to get uncomfortable again because I was very comfortable in my ways of making videos and uploading videos, and I have to get uncomfortable to change my ways and to do something that's going to work out better. It's going to get me where I want to go. So life is like that. I mean, it's just a process of doing that all the time. And um, in a sense, my NLP practice keeps me honest that way. When I have to honestly look at myself by running the things that I want through these NLP processes and having to face, okay, I'm not getting the results that I want, so now I've got to change things. It's an ongoing process. It never ends. And you never arrive. And actually, that's actually a good thing. And I used to not think of it that way. I used to want to get to the point where I could kind of sit back and just collect success. And actually, I think I'd be very, very bored if you could actually do that. And so I'm not interested anymore. I'm in that. I'm interested in the engagement, the challenge. I I really enjoy this, and I recommend it for you too. All right. You can't help others until you help yourself first. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Let's see. Please let me know if I shall go ahead with this plan. I am only listen during my first meeting and take notes, and before next meeting, I will suggest what kind of therapy is required. Can you add a suggestion? Get your machete. It's time to blaze some new neural paths. Exactly. Yeah. And that doesn't always feel very comfortable, but um, once you get started, though, it's always great, especially when you see more progress on something you're working on. All right, so Raj, maybe I just do my coaching a little bit different. So I'll just give you my process. Somebody reaches out to me for coaching. I ask them what is it they want coaching to help them with. Yeah, I want to get a sense of what it is they're looking for. If it's like I said, if it's realistic or unrealistic, or if it's something that I know I can't really help the person with because it's out of my expertise, I'm not going to take that on. I don't take people's money unless I'm sure I can actually help them. So then I move into a 20-minute consultation that's free. I want to talk to the person. It's sort of like we're interviewing each other to find out, are we a good fit here? And if I feel like, yes, I indeed can help this person, yes, I want to work with this person, then we get started on the first session. I don't really sit back and recommend a certain kind of therapy or a certain kind of process. I have learned lots of NLP models and um, ways of going about this, and so it's quite natural for me. I do have a framework that I use, and it's based on the training that I've created called Transforming Yourself. Enrollment for this program is not open yet, or it's not open right now. It has been open in the past, and it will be open again, but it's not open right now. And so it's a framework of how to transform at the identity level, and I use that in my coaching. So first, I start off with a values elicitation for what the person wants. I want to know what are the higher values that's driving this desire for what it is they want, and this will help them get very, very clear. Sometimes just after the values elicitation, they almost feel like that's what they came for, because so many people are just not clear about what it is they want or what's driving their desires. When you get clear about this, wow, it'll start to change rapidly, and not just change like, oh, you feel different. It'll change in that you start drawing and attracting this to you much more because now you're aware of it. So I want to know what that is. I want them to get clear about it, and I want to know what their resistance is to having it. Because if they don't have it, well, why not? What stop them? And once I understand that better, then I know then where I'm going to go with how I'm going to work with them. And most of the time, what I do is I go to the qualities that so okay. This is all up on a video, called Transforming Yourself. I did this video last year. It was a live video. You can find it on my YouTube channel. I explained my exact process, but I'll do it really quickly here. So, enlisted values, then cross-reference those values as qualities of identity. So I'm wondering, okay, if one of your highest values is happy, I wanna know, do you feel like you're a happy person? And it's amazing, but it's understandable and that most of the time people's highest values are not showing up as qualities of who they are. That's why they're unhappy. That's why they've come to me for coaching. That's why they feel like there's a problem. And yeah, that's a big problem. If your highest values are not showing up as qualities of who you are, then you're not fulfilled. You're not happy. You're not satisfied. You're not at peace. You don't feel like you're purposeful. So from there, I work on building those qualities into their identity. So I work on a much more holistic level. And as we go through that process, instead of focusing on little problems here and there, or the little problems that are, and they might feel like big problems to them, but I see them as little problems. If we can build in those qualities into their identity, the problems just tend to go away. And if they don't, then we'll work with them directly. But the other thing that happens too when you're shifting people's identity is that when you're at the identity level, it's very, very powerful, and you want to make sure you get this right because it will affect other things in their sense of self. So you want to make sure that you're doing this in a very positive way, and that the qualities are high value qualities that are not going to screw up other things in their life. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't at the moment. Uh, Steve Andreas, who I learned all of this from, this is his model, told would tell a story about a guy who he considered himself a poor boy, even though he was very wealthy. He was very wealthy, and he had come from a poor family, poor background, and that's probably what had driven him to create his wealth. But he still thought of himself as poor. And I don't know if it was Steve who worked with him or one of Steve's students who worked with him, but transforming that quality of feeling like he was poor into realizing that no, in fact, not only externally did he have a lot of wealth, but inside of him, he was wealthy and had abundance. And so when that shifted, he a strange thing happened. He used to drive really crazy and fast and scare the hell out of his wife. But after he made that shift from being a poor boy to being in a state of abundance and wealth, he stopped driving like that and he started driving much safer. So that's what I mean when you're working at the identity level, it'll make shifts that are so big that it will affect a lot of small things. So you want to be careful with that. And that's the way that I work. I'm not saying that everybody should work that way. Um, it's you find your way. So and here's the other thing. As a coach, I would use techniques to build your skills, but focus on building the skills, not so much on the techniques. Does that make sense? The techniques and the NLP techniques and the NLP processes are great, but they won't always work. Your skills will always work. Your skills will never fail you, because if your skill isn't up for the task and it feels like your skills have failed you, no, they have not. Now you've learned something new. Now it's strengthened your skills, especially if you keep going. And that's why I call this win or learn. You're either winning or you're learning. So if your skills fail you, Well, think about it like this. When you go to the gym and you want to build your muscles, there are people who just kind of like move some weights around or whatever, and okay, they get some results out of that. But if you really want to do this the most efficient way and the best way, you have to bring your muscles to failure. So when you bring your muscles to failure, then as long as you give them enough time to rest, they're going to get stronger. And your skills work the same way. So your skills never fail. Your skills are always growing, especially if you're challenging them. Techniques and processes will fail at times because people aren't so rigid and you know they're people we're bigger than techniques and processes. So you're going to encounter situations where your process or technique's not going to work because a person doesn't fit into that paradigm, and you need to be ready for that. And that's where your skills come in. But techniques and processes are what you want to practice. NLP skills and processes are what you want to practice in order to cultivate those skills. All right, brilliant. I have to go back and get the quote about highest values. Nice one. I'm not even sure which specific quote that was, but that's cool. Shouldn't the self concept be the first thing to begin with? It really depends on what you want. I mean, I like to go there first, but um, even when people, for me, yes, but I'm not going to say that that's what everybody should be doing. Um, Even when people come to me for small changes, like maybe more on the behavioral level, and they're not looking for like a big identity shift. I still go to the identity because I want the change to last. And the best way I know of to make a change last in someone who wants to make a change, is by connecting it to their identity. Because you take your identity everywhere you go with you. If you think about it, it is the one generalization. Your self concept is the one concept, the one generalization, the one idea that has endured from the beginning of your knowing that you're a person, and it will for the rest of your life. Think about this. You take you wherever you go. When you it transcends space and time, because if you think about when you were 3, you don't say when he was 3 or when she was 3, you say when I was 3. So that you're still connected. Your self-concept is still connected to your past self. Now, if you think about it, when you were 3, now I'm 41, so when I was 3, I'm a completely different person with completely different beliefs, and even my physical form, they say you completely, uh, have shed every cell of your body every 7 years. So, physically, mentally, everything, I'm a completely different person, yet I still think of my 3-year-old self or my younger self as me. And when I think about myself in the future, I still think, I say, "When I do that," or "When I will do that." So I'm still this generalization is that big that it transcends time. Now it also transcends space. When I go to other countries, when I step into the next room, I'm still me. I still feel like me. So your self-concept, your identity is the most powerful generalization you make. You know, if I make the generalization that I'm a Santa Cruzan because I live in Santa Cruz, well, if I move to Los Angeles, well, I'm not a Santa Cruzan anymore. So that generalization doesn't last. It doesn't transcend space or time. So that's the difference. That's why it's so powerful, and that's why I work on that level. Um, and like I said, even for small changes, I still want to work on that level because, well, we will start with the change they want to make, but I connect it to their identity so that it lasts. All right. Thanks. That's what I wanted to know. That's great help. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Techniques are like rules, skills are like principles. Yes, absolutely. All right. So, any questions, anybody? So, if all this stuff sounds cool and you're interested in doing this, if you're interested in taking all of this deeper and going with me in this journey, uh, enrollment is open for my practitioner training. If you want the early bird pricing, you need to get in by tomorrow. You got about a little more than 24 hours. You can still get in next week, but you're going to pay more and you're not going to get all the bonuses. So you might as well get in now. If you go to the link in the description, click on that, you'll see I describe all 8 modules that's in the training, and keep going down. You'll see I'm giving 4 bonuses. I've never done that before. 4 bonuses. and one of them includes the persuasion and influence training that it's still a work in progress, but I've already started putting it out there. It's on YouTube right now. You can check it out. What else? You get a bonus session with me one-on-one. You get ongoing group coaching calls, and then you get the sensory acuity and calibration advanced training. So this deal has never been sweeter, and I don't know that it's going to be this good next time I open enrollment. So you jump on this. Let's take this deeper. Get you get my help in doing this, which is something I didn't have when I first started training. Especially, I didn't have it for years until about 3 years after I started my NLP training. I met Steve Andreas, and he mentored me for years until he passed away, unfortunately, last year. So, what I'm trying to do is help people have that guidance that I didn't have, because I think I truly believe that if all of us learn NLP and practice it, that yes, the world will be a better place. We will be more effective, more efficient. Everyone will be fulfilling their potential and contributing to a greater society, and we'll all be connecting and engaging with each other more. That might sound like a kind of a crazy uh, belief, but that's my vision. And I'm not saying it's exclusive to NLP and it's only NLP will make this work, but no, this is my contribution. This is my purpose. This is my calling, my mission. So let's do this. Let's go deeper with this. All right. I don't see any more questions. If anybody has one or two, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. All right. I'm not seeing any other questions. Like I said, this will be the last of these live episodes. This is the ninth one. Um, like I said, I'm not quitting altogether. I'll still be uploading videos to my channel on a weekly basis. I will go live from time to time. It's just not going to be like a regular Saturday thing. And if you're ready to take this deeper, if you want my help, you want my support, you want a practitioner program that's based on 24 days, which I think is how it should be taught. I spared nothing in creating this program. I put everything I had into it, and then I put bonuses on top of it based on what people were asking more for. People want more on persuasion and influence. People want more on calibration and sensory acuity. People want more support and help. So you're going to get it all in this training. I give you everything you could possibly need to become a tremendous NLP practitioner and use NLP to master your life. So let's do this. I'm excited. We already have a lot of people signing up, and um, I hope to see you on the other side. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right. Take care, everybody.